जस्ट एक मिनट, मैं रिकॉर्ड पे डाल रहा हूँ, चलेगा ना?
हाँ हाँ
हाँ ठीक है, ओके।
तो आई थिंक सी राइट नाउ मतलब एज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करते हैं। इंग्लिश इज फाइन और हिंदी इज आल्सो फाइन?
I think if English you can say, it will be better.
So as an organization, I think what we are trying to do also is to really understand how student interaction that they do in the classroom can become better, so that the entire idea that Involve operates in, where we believe that when a peer-based interaction happens in a more stronger manner, the learning can be more sustainable, and also students develop a lot of skills in the entire process. Because when a student from, let's say, 7th or 8th grade, they teach their younger students in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, they develop a lot of skills, and at the same time the younger students also find it academically easier for them to interact with their seniors. So the entire idea is that how and what are the ways in which we can improve this interaction between student and student first, and what are the different ways, and why we would want to research more, not just from an Indian pedagogy but also outside. Also, what are the different ways in which it can be sort of done. And second is that in order to enable a peer-based learning or peer teaching as a process where senior students teaches their juniors, the teachers in the government schools specifically have to facilitate this entire process. So when they are facilitating this entire process, where they are making sure that there are different peer groups sort of made in the schools, and they are operating it very well, what will a teacher, a government school teacher specifically, from a rural and tribal sort of place, how will their interaction be with the peer, sort of, if you say, student leader who is teaching the senior student who is teaching their younger students? How should a interaction between a teacher and a student leader be, so that the entire peer based learning that is happening can be more sort of be in a more safer space as such? So what should be the two teachers, what should the teachers say, what should the teachers do, how should they make them feel, what kind of conversation that would happen, what kind of things they should not do? Like, teachers should not interfere while the entire classroom is happening. They should not immediately correct some minor mistakes. They can do it after the classroom. So what are some of the things that as teachers should be doing, so that the facilitation process that they are into while peer-based learning is happening can be much more smoother, and students find it more sort of engaging and more fruitful? So these are the two things that we would want to explore. Again, not from an Indian context, but again, from an Indian context also, if we can find it, but also from an international context, how are certain interactions done, and what are some of the ways in which it can be. So what I'm also looking is not some very what do you say, broader things, very like ज्ञान वाली जो चीजें होती है ना, कि I don't want certain knowledge piece as around it, but also some of the practices that is actionable, that is doable in a classroom setup, in a space, and it's clearly defined that, okay, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do XYZ. So that would be, I think, a big problem statement that we would want to sort of research and understand more about.
Okay, understood. So like, what is the process currently like? So right now you guys are playing the major role, right, in connecting the students?
Yes. So right now what happens is we have our team who goes and sort of intervenes and set up these peer structures. So the groups that are there, peer based groups, we set up these, and our team member only go and train these or mentor these student leaders who then teach their juniors. So now our team has certain understanding, they have certain sort of expertise and all of that. But now we are also planning to take it to a larger scale, where we want to imagine that if so right now for about 30 schools we have about 10 to 15 team members who go and execute these things. But now, if we want to imagine this in 2,000 or 3,000 schools at once, with just 3 to 4 people in our team, and we need to, the imagination is that how can we work with the government education system to get this thing done? Then there has to be some mental level shift that needs to happen in the teacher. There is some mindset level shift that needs to happen, and that how do we um, incorporate, capture, and how, what can we tell to these teachers? Okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you should not do, avoid doing, keep doing, and what are some tangibles that they can do within their own context is something that we are looking for, so that we can take this program from a 30 school to a 2,000 school, let's say.
Okay, all right. So like right now it's completely operational, right? You guys have to go to offline to the place and then do the peer based. So how can teachers
Yes.
actually help to kind of automate these things?
Yes, instead of us going, how can teachers? Because the
Correct.
government education system has that already in place. They already have teachers. They already pay the teachers very well.
Right, right.
So why are we, an education as a process is a government thing. The government should take care of it. But definitely they're not doing the best job. And again, there are multiple challenges which I don't want to get into. But if they have people and all of that, how can we provide that pedagogy understanding to them, and what are some of the actionables they can do so that it can be set up very easily?
Okay, understood. Okay.
So that, but any questions that you will have in terms of the organization, or I don't know, anything else?
First thing, I actually forgot to introduce you. So yeah. So guys, yeah, he is Samyak Jain. So yeah, like we are like he has been my school friend. So after that, he did his BTech from IIT Madras in 2019, and he founded Involve in 2017. Right, Samyak?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, 2017. So he is the co-founder and the CEO of the company. Yeah. Anything else you would like to
Oh,
tell?
and can we get a backdrop about how did you get an idea about this, starting this thing and all?
Yeah. So I was basically mentoring two students. I was a part of Avanti Fellows. Again, it's another NGO, non-profit, which was started by IIT Bombay graduates. And then their idea was that how can they were running this program in around 7 to 8 IITs, where the idea was that first, second, third year students, if they mentor 11th and 12th grade students who are currently pursuing to get into the engineering colleges, so how can we as first, second year students who have just entered sort of IIT can support them, can mentor them, so that these students can get into the best engineering colleges. um, and again, definitely IITs as well. And that is where when we were mentoring, so we were about 40 people in IIT Madras, who had mentors and all of that. So I had two mentees who I was supporting, and we saw tremendous result. In my first year of uh, college, we were able to the batch who was doing their 12th, all of them, there were 20, I think 19 or 20 of them, all of them completed their JEE mains, cleared their JEE mains, and about 7 to 8 of them even did got into IIT. So that was a huge sort of shift that we were able to see, that even though um, we are not a trained teacher as such, but the mentoring support, we were able to do it because we have just done something like that. And the students who were there, they understood us very easily. We understood them because we understood that what is the challenge that they are going through, because we have been through that phase. And then the entire idea was that, okay, if this works and we have seen certain success in this aspect, where we do not come from any background, no teaching background and anything, can it work in any place where there is a hierarchy, a sort of, not hierarchy, but multi-grade, multi-level learning sort of is happening. Then while researching more about education as such, we realized that there is a huge challenge in education where basic concepts like arithmetic, literacy, numeracy is not very clear for the students. So I don't know if you all are aware about the ASER study, ASER, which talks that grade 5 student, almost 50% of grade 5 students cannot do second grade arithmetic and cannot read basic words which are in second grade, and which is a huge problem for the country. And if we really need to solve this, we need to be able to bridge this gap as soon as possible. Now the problem are multifold. One is definitely this is the problem. Second is that there are not enough teachers available. Like a lot of, or more than a lakh schools in India is single teacher school, double teacher school only, where there are grade 1 to 5. So you have to teach multiple grades, one teacher, and they have to do all the work, teaching, administrative work, community involvement, and everything, which a teacher cannot do practically. Then the entire idea that okay, the students are again taught very base, just academic stuff. We are not focusing more on 21st century skills and all of that. And again, not from a theoretical perspective, but where are students doing practically doing it? And when we saw a lot of these problems, we realized that okay, this peer teaching as a setup, as a process, can actually solve it. And it was also not happening because we were not involving students in the entire education process. They were always passive receivers of education. We always go and teach them, okay, you need this, you need that, but we never ask them, we never involve them into education, we never seek their support, we never co-create things with them where they feel, okay, this is why it is important for me. And then the entire idea was, how do we co-create things with students? How do we involve them in more? So the initial idea right now is that how do we involve them into teaching and making sure that 100% of the students who are in grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 achieve foundational literacy and numeracy concept. Because once that sort of happens, then they will feel more confident. The entire system will feel more confident to include students into much more sort of things. And then concepts like Bal Sabha that happens, or child parliament, and multiple other places, SMCs, school management committee, those just the student representation can be more. And then the assumption is, and the entire idea is that once the student from that young age are talking about problems, talking to communities and all of that, the community, the parents will see them as partners and not just as someone, okay, who we need to give something feed into. They're not an empty vessel who just we pour the water into. But how do we involve them into the entire process, because they're living that thing, and just hear their voice. Yeah, come on, mother, why can't we just hear them out of what do they have to say? And they have amazing points to say. So the broader idea then from there is that how do we really create spaces where students are sort of co-creating things with the system, with the teachers, with communities, to solve problems of communities and all. And how can students and teachers and communities together come and do it, and not just teachers and communities do it. Because yeah, and then ultimately, hopefully, these students, when they become youth, and when they become 18 plus, when they have more responsibilities and all, they will take more ownership of solving things, instead of saying, okay, there is XYZ happening in my community, no one sees. They will take an action, and they will take a step towards solving it, because now they are sort of already prepared for that. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, Samyak.
Yeah.
This is Monica. I just have a doubt. So now you're talking about co-creation. So most of the government schools and all where you're targeting and where you're focusing on, they have this conventional methods of teaching. So I guess initially you must be having, you must have had some challenges. So if at all you had some challenges, what were they?
I think this entire notion itself was a huge challenge, because just to break that notion and just to bring this entire, and again, it's still not solved, and I do not believe that it will be solved in the next 5 years or so. But what we are doing is we are creating small solutions which can be done at a large scale, so that people understand change. We just want to bring one change at a large level, so that system is able to see that okay, something like this is possible. And then we would want to engage more with the system on, let's say, policy level, or on the district or the state level, where we work with directly with the officials. And when they are designing something, let's say UNICEF, for example, works with states to design Bal Sabha concept, and they have been doing it from past, I don't know, 10-15 years, and it's a state mandate to set up these things, but nowhere it is happening properly. So when the state sees that, okay, in teaching they are involved and everything, how can then um, um, they basically, when we are there, we can nudge them slowly. So like, okay, sir, ma'am, can you do this as well? Can you include students into this and whatever XYZ? So that was the huge challenge. So and hence we had to sort of understand their problem, ki what are they focused towards. So our focus was definitely solving for academic crisis, but it was more towards building those confidence and critical thinking, communication skills within the student. But teachers were more sort of worried about marks and what will the parents say and all that, because that is what the convention is. So then we had to sort of design a way where we are actually capturing those data as well and are showing the data what the teachers need, but also getting our way through it. So that was one way in which we were able to at least show them that, okay, this is possible. Then last year, what we also did was that at the end of the year, there was a closing ceremony sort of where we invited all the student leaders. So from 30 schools, not all, but two leaders from each school, we called them. So about 60 leaders, and they did the entire sort of a celebration or the graduation for these students, where they did the speech, they did all the functions, they invited the guest and everything. So when the teachers and the CRP, which is cluster resource person who manages the entire cluster, the cluster head as such, when they saw that, okay, wow, students can do this thing, they were really blown away, because they've never seen something like this where the students can lead the entire um, uh, event. And that was an eye-opening thing for them. And the idea is ki, how do we then slowly nudge and in different processes that is existing, include and push our way so that they can start thinking about involving students into their processes.
Right,
Yeah.
right, got it. So when you're talking about the student leaders now, who are these? Are they someone chosen by the schools, or you guys are trying to pick them up?
They are from the schools itself, so they are generally from higher grades. So if the school is from, let's say, 1 to 5, they are from 4th and 5th grades. If the school is from 1 to 8, they are from 6th, 7th, 8th grade, who are academically a little better. And then they support the students who are either slow learners or who find it difficult to match the speed of the classroom and all of that. So each student leader is sort of, you can call them student. We have changed it to Shiksha Mitra. So these Shiksha Mitra can be sort of mapped to 2, 3, or 4 learners who are finding it difficult to match the pace of the classroom, and sort of ensure that all these students can eventually learn at least the basic concepts, so that they get confidence of coming to class and dropout is not happening and all of that.
Got it, got it. So are you providing any materials kind of to the teachers or the students in the process, or is it just through the mentorship, like, verbal programs?
We do provide it for the student, the Shiksha Mitra. We provide it for the learners as well, like the content that they have to teach. We provide it, at least we provide it in the schools where we are directly intervening. When we are imagining our solution at 2000, 3000 schools, there we are not providing any content, but we are telling that whatever you are using, we'll use that itself to drive it. So for our innovation model, where we sort of very deeply want to understand each and every nuance of the program, there we control, I would say, each and every aspect of it. And at other places where we are imagining working with the district and the district level, there we are sort of not creating anything of our own, where we are using the already existing materials.
Okay,
And
okay.
how do you reach out to these Shiksha Mitra?
They are there in each school. Like in every school, you will find at least 20% of the students who are academically
Okay,
better
in the
than
same
others.
school from which you are
Yes, yes,
which you are serving. Okay.
yes, yes, yes. Just imagine
Yeah.
2000 schools, and in
Huh.
every school you
Yeah, yeah.
have at least 5 to 7 or 10 this Shiksha Mitra. So just imagine 20,000 Shiksha Mitra, or just a friend sort of who is helping you, all the other students, to bridge the learning gap. and ultimately solving for what the nation wants, where all students graduating from grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are at least proficient in foundational literacy and numeracy concepts.
Acha. So the one who is mentoring all these leaders or the responsible for the clusters and all, are they qualified? Like, what is their qualification basically? And do they come from any psychological psychology backgrounds or something? Because you need to handle people, right? So that is the reason I'm asking this.
When you mean ki when we are working with them directly that time?
Yeah, exactly. When you're working with them directly, so what is the qualification of those people who are working with those people
So
directly,
right
the
now,
students and the teachers?
who students who the right now the team that we have, all of them are, I think, apart from one or two, I think out of 15 that we have right now, 13 are women from the similar background, from the similar sort of community, and most of them are mothers. And the entire idea is that we do a very thorough training with them. We have a very extensive training with them on how can they handle the Shiksha Mitra and learners and teachers. Um, yeah, we definitely look for a graduate. So all of them are graduate at minimum. Some of them have BEd degrees as well, where they have undergone trainings from the department on how to teach and all of that. We
Okay,
also find it difficult to get everyone who is a graduate and all of that. Sorry, who has a BEd degree, but we look for at least 2 to 3 years of experience, if not BEd degree.
okay, got it. So one thing, so when you've actually identified this problem, have you tried to look at it on a broader perspective? Like, matlab, see, like you were talking about this BEd degree, it's a mandate in certain states, right, to be a teacher and then to get into the
Everywhere.
government
If
schools.
you want
Yeah,
to teach in a government school,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so they need to have a BEd degree. But then compared to this, private schools, I don't think they are trained with the, enough skill set to teach. Private schools have this specific criteria that they need to have courses in this, so that they'll be able to gel with the students properly, impart those skills. But which is not the case in the government schools. So have you tried to address this issue at the, at a bigger level with the government officials or something?
No, we don't work on that aspect. But even in government private schools, you need a BEd degree to teach. On a lower
Okay.
level, you don't need, but you're teaching higher grades and all, you will need that. Otherwise, you cannot teach.
No. My intention was just to ask, did you just come up with this kind of discussion anywhere when you're dealing with the government official
Mm,
somewhere at the district level?
no, not no. But
Yep.
like from what I know, the teachers or like because there are a lot of BEd teachers and all who are there to get jobs, but the government is not opening jobs a lot for them.
Oh, okay.
In one of the PDF which you sent, you had given your financial report. So in that, it was written about the project expenses. But actually, in our project, we have to give you recommendation or something, a sort of future step also. So is it possible if you can give us a breakup of something like per school or per student or something?
Per school is 1.6 lakh that we spend
Okay.
when we are doing it directly. Again, it depends on which model. Like if we are talking about, let's say, doing it directly, our bank, the work that we do it in Bangalore, where we work directly with the schools and all of that, that is 1.6 lakhs per school per year. And when we are imagining it at scale, there we have a district. So for 2000 schools, let's say, we have about 55 to 56 lakhs.
And what
1000
all
school.
things consist of these expenses?
Major expenses, human resource, HR cost, travel. Like HR, I think takes about 55 to 60%. Then travel, admin is 10%. Travel and stationery takes about other 20%, and then remaining is let's say we are doing any training, capacity building, and all of that. I don't remember which PDF I have actually shared also.
Okay.
No,
And
Samyak too. Yeah, Samyak too. It was actually from the website only, Involved website, the annual
On the
report.
website.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be mentioned, I think, there, no, the breakup also.
the breakup
Yeah.
was not there, it was written project expense.
Oh, okay. I think in this year's report, we are mentioning the breakup as well, the percentage.
Okay.
And can we get testimony of at least 5-6 students so that we can write it?
If you
Students and
want to
the
talk to them,
teachers.
or
No,
you
just
want to talk
some
to them?
words of theirs and a
I'll
name
share
and the
with
word.
you. I'll share with you the impact report this year's as well. You can copy
Okay,
from there.
okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would need to know Kannada if you want to talk to any teacher or student, at least in Karnataka.
No one among us knows that.
You can just copy it from there, I think. Then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, any other major difficulty or problem you are facing, which you think that we can find answer, like we should find answer of or something, so you can tell so
So
that we can put it
the
in
first
the.
two things only that I told is to really understand how can the interaction between peer and peer and a teacher and a peer and a student can become much more fruitful, so that the peer learning environment in the school can be made best.
Okay, and anything related to technology which you are planning to enforce in this?
We are imagining right now. So we are trying to use that WhatsApp tool itself, because most of the teachers use that. And then there is a Diksha app, which is by the government itself, that is slowly getting mandated in a lot of states. Not a lot of states have sort of still adopted it fully, but the aim is that we will be using Diksha app. Like, we are aiming to work in Bihar as well, so there Diksha access is very high, so that we'll use that. But in Chhattisgarh and in UP, where we are working there, um, they don't use much Diksha. So there we are right now doing it through Google Forms and all of that, WhatsApp. But we are sort of trying to use Glyphic. I'm sure you all would not know much, but Glyphic helps a lot of nonprofits to set up their chatbots and everything on WhatsApp. So that we are aiming to use. If you all can help us make the entire chatbot, that would be good. But I'm not sure if our team will be able to provide, because you will need a lot of knowledge and support on how it is to be done. That at this point of time we don't have bandwidth to do that. But we will get that thing done in the next 6 months.
Okay.
And
But
And
we'll not use any other extra software, because again it just doesn't make sense. If you want to work with the system, we should use what they're already using. Otherwise, imagine key, because teachers it is like they already get multiple information from multiple places, so it just doesn't make sense to burden them. So if you want to if you can influence the state to use your own app, then it is still okay, but we don't want to do that.
Monica, you want to go?
yeah, I just had it out. So when you're trying to expand like territory wise or something to the different areas, what is that criteria usually you use? Like, how do you select some, what are the points you consider to expand to a different place or a region?
At this point of time, right now, we are looking for just anyone who can give us permission. Honestly, how we have narrowed down, like, let's say right now I'm in Chhattisgarh, I'll be going to Bihar tomorrow. There we already had some organizations who were there. They knew our work. They sort of thought it will be useful for us to come there. So with their support, we went and talked to the officials. We found an alignment, and yeah, we start working. But going forward, there will be more and more. I think when we learn more, understand more, then only we will be able to sort of understand that, okay, what all criteria to put. But definitely vision alignment on, do they see it as one of the solution that they can implement? Do they have at least a few people from their team, SCRT, Samagra Siksha, and diet, let's say, and all of that, so that they can, because eventually we would want them to adopt the solution and not be dependent on Involve as an organization. So do they have that many human resources with them? Are they willing to support in that? Do they have vision alignment on what we are aiming to do, what they're aiming to do? What kind of infrastructure that they have? What is the reporting mechanism? Like right now, they every school has teachers and head teachers, or principal as we say. Then every cluster, which is a group of schools, has a cluster resource person, let's say CRP, and every a group of clusters is called a block. There is a block resource person, BO, block education officer. Then every blocks consists of DO, district education officer, DMC, and a lot of these people. So do they have required people at required places so that they can eventually take it forward? So these will be few of the parameters. If you talk to me just right now, I think we are only looking for an easier entry, because it takes a lot of time to get any government partnership. And alignment is something, because right now it's a national narrative, not only just any state, but it's a national narrative to solve foundational literacy and numeracy by 2026-27. So because our solution is completely aligned with that, we know that any state that we go to with this solution, they will sort of want to understand what we are doing.
Got it, got it. Like, so you said you had this organizations who are willing to work with you. So do you have any such collaborations, like major collaborations? And if
We
at all,
have,
yes,
yes.
like what are these? Like, who are these organizations?
Like there is one organization called Mantra for Change, based out of again Bangalore. They work in UP, Bihar, Punjab, Karnataka. So even the Bangalore schools that we have is we got it through them. We are working along with them. Sort of that is there. Then in MP there is an organization known as Parivar, where we work with about 100 villages over there. In Chhattisgarh right now, in Durg we have Sankalp Ek Prayas, where who works with about 250 villages, all rural and tribal districts. So there we are sort of partnered with them to implement and take this program sort of forward. In Punjab, we have Sanji Sikhya, another organization who is working on a district and state level, and we are working along with them to see how peer-based solutions and the entire idea of student leadership, student agency can come. So these are few organizations that we are connected with.
Got it, got it. Thanks.
And can we get like names of 7, 8 schools from which you have this thing? Because we will need to write the report, like each and every, like in this school you are serving these many students, and this is the difficulty which you faced. Like for every school you will face a difficulty. For every region you will face something. So if we write that, it would be really great.
So school level difficulty you want, or organization level difficulty? What I've told
No,
you
no,
is
school
organization level
level, like convincing the school or how you managed it. Because like for if you are seeing a school in Jharkhand, it would be difficult, and in a school in a different state, there would be some other difficulty to connect with. So because of that, if you can give the names of 7, 8 schools and the number of students you tried to connect with and all.
school and number of students. Okay, you send me sort of these questions. I'll ask my team
Okay.
to get that.
Okay, yeah, because we have to write some of the like detailed things here. So if we could get it, it would be really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And like what is the way forward of, like, what are you thinking about expanding or starting something else also in future, so that we can help on that, or we can give any recommendation regarding that also, rather than solving the problem, like instead of that, if we can give something new to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. What was the question again?
About the future prospect.
So for us right now, what we are focusing on is to strengthen our processes, structures, and all these things in the school where we directly implement our program. Second is we are working with multiple non-profit other NGOs sort of to implement or establish peer-based structures over there so that the learning outcome can be improved. We are already working with 3 NGOs right now and aiming to increase that number as well in the coming years. And third is we want to, and we are working towards mostly district level officials to implement the program and imagine the implementation at a district level. There, I don't think, honestly, you all will be able to help because, again, just unless and until you have the connect with someone, principal secretary or something of any state where you can directly set up a meeting for me. Otherwise, you all will not be able to help at this point of time there. But the imagination is that we will be working with about 4 districts this academic year, and working with district officials to implement and imagine the program at a district level with having limited team from our side, but sort of co-creating with solution with the system to take it to all the schools.
Okay, and one more thing. Can we get the hierarchy of your organization, like the structure which you have made? Like below you, how many HRs are there, or who connects to whom? It is much needed because we will also see about the structure of your organization, how it really works, and who reports to whom and who does what job. So that's why.
Okay,
If we
so
can get that information, it will be very helpful.
but what, like, do you need names, numbers, number of people, their role?
Not names, but the hierarchy. Below you, how many people report to you,
So,
and
so right, you want it now or
no. I will send all these questions through
perfect?
Saurabh
Huh.
only,
Hmm,
so
hmm,
you
hmm.
can take time and react.
You
Also from
don't just send a question, also send a form in which I can just fill and send it. I don't know, because if you'll ask me to make a document or something, I really don't have
no,
time right
I'll
now.
yeah,
Huh.
sure. And
You make
also
a
I'll
Google
send
form.
you.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'll also send you an example of what actually we want, so you can just see it and you'll get to know what
Nothing.
actually we need.
You ask, either you give me a entire detailed document where I can just fill information, or a Google
Yeah.
form where I can just put the numbers or whatever you need.
Okay.
It will be much more easier. I'm telling you. Otherwise, you will sort of has to again pay me to get all the information
No.
because my schedule is very occupied right now.
Okay. One more thing. My last question is about the funding. From where do you get, which government organization help you, or any private funding you get, or is
Yes.
it your own profit in which you operate?
Yeah, so we are registered as a Section 8 company, which is under not for profit sort of. So we don't generate any revenue, and all the sort of money that we get is donation, and majorly from 4 different sources. One is through CSR, corporate social responsibility, where different corporates who have mandated under Companies Act 2008, if I'm not wrong, that they have to give
Yeah.
2% of their profit, sort of to charitable or social cause. So there we have some CSRs who support us. Then we have HNI funding, which is high net worth individuals who have a lot of money, who like us, who like the program that we are doing. They support us sort of from there. Third is through foundations. There are people who set up their own foundations as such. sort of as an example, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Gates and Dell Foundation, they both don't support us at this point of time, but there are foundations like these who sort of also support us. There is one SGP Philanthropy Foundation which is supporting us at right now, and fourth is through crowdfunding and retail funding, I would say, which is through different donation platforms, Give India, Milap, uh, Impact Guru, Crowdera, and all of that, where we sort of get support from our families, friends, and they sort of give us sort of some donation over there. So these are the four sources through which Involve right now receives funding.
Okay, so most of them are regular fundings, and you get sometimes you get one-time funding too.
Yes, both mix. As of now, I think
Okay.
fortunately we have been able to retain 100% of our funders from last year to this year. So all of them are continuing their funding, definitely matching, but also some of them are exceeding from what they supported us with last year. And we obviously, because our budget has twofold, almost twice it has happened, we are looking for new funders as well.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. My questions are done.
Yeah, Samyak, just one question. So like you are connecting with all the government schools, right? Mostly. So do
Mhm.
they have internet connectivity right now? Like, what is the scenario?
Very bad, very right now. Not even teachers right now struggle a lot with, and that's why the entire tech is has failed. Not even is failing is has failed, because unless and until you solve for very basic thing, not even internet, just electricity. But if you want to charge your phone and all of that, you just need electricity. There are a lot of places where at least we work, they find it difficult to get electricity. Internet connectivity as such, I mean, like Geo is available, Airtel, these two are generally available. Like wherever we go, we are able to find network, but there is no provision right now to use. Like the government does not provide, let's say, Wi-Fi, or the teachers have to use their own internet as such. So if they want to download or see any heavy things, it is quite difficult to do. Then devices problem is also there. So there is both hardware issue and also network problem and electricity problem more in most of the places.
Okay.
WhatsApp still works. WhatsApp, that's why I think a lot of teachers are connected through WhatsApp. They are able to see YouTube videos. Diksha also, because it is a lighter sort of version, they use that as well. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys mostly connect through WhatsApp right now through the schools.
Right now, yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. Samar, do you have any
That
questions?
that is how it is right now. It's very.
Uh,
It will change. It will definitely change. I have full confidence that internet will, that the blended solution needs to be there. It cannot be only online. It cannot be only offline.
right.
The blended way is the way to go, and hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, with a lot of companies now donating smart TVs, laptops, tablets, mobile phones to teachers and all, hopefully things will change. And with PM also announcing about electricity, that ensuring electricity in all the places as such, so hoping these two things will solve things to a very large extent.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Samar, do you have any questions? Okay, yeah. Okay, I think that's it, Samyak, from us. Yeah, thanks a lot for
Perfect.
joining.
नो
Thank you
ऐसा
so
करना सौरभ,
much.
अगर कुछ कुछ और भी होता है ना, नो वरीज मानसी। सौरभ, अगर कुछ और क्वेश्चन आते हैं तो मेरे को बस वॉइस नोट भेज देना, या फिर बस वही फॉर्म भेज देना।
हाँ,
I'll,
yes, एक
whenever
बार
I'm traveling
yes, we
or
will discuss, and जो सबसे easy format है, we will send you
हाँ
that, so that yeah.
traveling and all में I can hopefully get some time and fill it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise setting out times separately, it's just like I won't be able to do justice to you all, because you never know when a government official will call you and all. It just becomes very difficult to commit to a particular time, at least from 10 to 6, and I have to give the time to my team after 6 only. That's why I don't I'm not able to give time to anyone else right now.
Yeah. Understand.
बट हाँ मेरे को भेजना फॉर्म या जो भी है वो आई विल फिगर आउट टाइम इन द नाइट एंड गेट इट डन.
Sure. Done. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, चलो.
Okay. Thanks,
Cool
Samyak.
then. Bye bye. All the best
Yeah.
to you all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Best of luck.